Oh, hey, what's up? So, I'm going to try to do a quick video, but you know me, I'm not really good at quick videos. I'm really bad about rambling and I digress off into other directions and stuff. So, I'm going to try really hard to make this a quick video. What am I doing? Um, I have loads to leave the house on, which mean I'm going to be sitting at home for another week. This my load doesn't pick up until the 22nd, which is Tuesday at 8 a.m. I do need to get an empty, so I might actually leave my house on Monday to go find an empty, and then take a 10 in Tulsa, so I'll have all of my hours available whenever I leave, because I can pretty much drop the trailer as soon as I get there, and then get over to the other place. Just get out there and just get rolling. Um, the loads are pretty good. Let's flip over to the spreadsheet. I'll show you the loads real quick. These are the two loads, 10 and 11. It's Tulsa to deep northeast. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania is in the deep northeast of Pennsylvania, way up in the northeast. Um, and then I'm going from there. I'm going to deadhead over to Ohio, 330-mile deadhead. I think Cuyahoga Falls is the Cleveland area. I can't remember for sure. And I'm taking that load to Dallas. And I have basically a day in between the two loads. So I'm not going to be running real hard on this. Um, but what are the loads paying? What I make with fuel surcharge is 2,300 on the first load and roughly 2,200 on the second load. Comes out to about $4,500 gross to the truck. After fuel expenses, I expect to make 3,800. After you take out my fixed costs, it brings it down to like my fixed costs are they're $126 a week, around $130 a week. So 38 minus 130, that's 37. That's 3670. So roughly 3670 is how much I'm gonna make. Now that's not taking out maintenance costs and everything else that to factor out my true costs, but that's how much is going to be going into my account that's available for me to spend, is $3,600. So $3,600 for a week is pretty damn good. $3,700 for a week. That's what I averaged last time I went out for 2 weeks. Is I made roughly $4,700 a week to the truck, and then me after expenses, how much was put into my account after fuel costs was roughly $3,700 a week. It was like I made like $7,400 on the 2 weeks I was out last time. Now these loads, this is only 5 days, so I have 2 more days in the week. When you're thinking on the 7-day rolling week, so I could potentially this could be like a $6,000 week. Um, I don't know. We'll see. See the 27th. 27th is Sunday. Yeah, I don't know that now as far as pay weeks go, this is going to be really weird because on 1 week I'm going to have this load, and this load's going to roll on to another week. So as far as pay weeks go, these my pay weeks are going to look really bad. But I'm going to be back in Dallas at the end of this week. So if all the repairs that I just had done, if I have any issues with them, then I'll just, once I make the delivery in Dallas, I can just deadhead back to Oklahoma City and put my truck back into the shop. My God, I hope I don't have to put my truck in the fucking shop again. Oh my God, I've spent so much money on putting my truck in the shop, and so that I don't scare off anybody. Almost all of the work that I've had done on the truck has been optional. It hasn't been mandatory. Like my truck leaning a little to the left, the dealer and the body shop both told me it was not a safety issue. It wasn't a legal issue. I couldn't, get cited for it, and it wasn't a safety issue. It would just cause extra wear and tear on the truck with it not being, level, set correctly. It would just put more strain on, components in the suspension system. Um, and I spent a lot of money getting that fixed, $4,600. There's been a lot of stuff like that I've spent around $2,500 getting the APU fixed. A lot of people in my position probably would have just idled the truck and disabled the APU instead of spending that much money to get it fixed. But not me. I've spent a lot of money on the truck that was not necessary. The only necessary work that I can recall having done on the truck was the axle gaskets on my drives. Two of them started leaking, and those seals needed to be replaced. The axle seals. I went ahead and had all four of them replaced for approximately $500. And then my injector cups were leaking and causing an overpressure in the coolant system. $2,500 for that. So $3,000 over the 3 to 4 months that I've owned the truck. Those are the only necessary, like mandatory things that I've had fixed. Everything else has been kind of optional. You wouldn't have had to spend all the other money I've spent, but I'm trying to get the truck in really good shape. I'm hoping this truck will last me several years, so I'm spending a lot of money on it to get it in tip-top shape. But that's my week so far, and what I'll say about the market on USA Trucks Load Board is that the week after Labor Day kind of sucked. We went downhill on rates a little bit, and then this week, Monday and Tuesday both kind of sucked for rates, and then Wednesday the rates started climbing back up. I saw some loads that they listed on the cheap that they relisted on Wednesday. Let me see here. Let's go to, I think, Spring Hill, Kansas. Spring Hill. Is the load gone? Did they finally get it covered after they increased the rate? This is 250 miles of Oklahoma City. Let's refresh it. Yeah, they're gone. They're covered. So there were some Rogers, Arkansas loads going to Aberdeen, Maryland, that they just kept relisting over and over and over again at $2,500. And then finally today they relisted them because they weren't getting covered. They relisted them at $3,000, and now they're gone. So I think they finally got them covered after they increased the price. So rates are on the rise, and they're pretty much right now they're getting close to what they were prior to the Labor Day weekend. But Labor Day weekend, I think, caused a supply-demand shift, and now we're back on the positive where the loads outnumber the drivers again. So good for drivers, carriers, right now. Bad for shippers. So that's pretty much it. What's going on with me, man? I've had so much stuff. I've had my truck in the shop 3 times over these last 2 weeks, and it's going to be a total of 3 weeks off that I'm taking, and almost the whole month of September, it seems like. And I digitized all of my documents related to the business, switched tax services, ordered a bunch of stuff for the truck, just tons of stuff going on. I haven't really had a whole lot of free time to enjoy myself for the first 2 weeks I've been at home, and this last week here, up until I leave, I'm going to try to just sit and relax and play video games, and not deal with any bullshit, because I haven't really had a whole lot of time off. I'm kind of looking forward to getting out on the road, so that the only thing I have to worry about is just driving from point A to point B, and finding loads, and that's it. Every time I get home, I just have a ton of shit that I have to do as far as getting the truck fixed and shit like that. So it seems like I work harder when I'm at home, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on whenever I get out on the road. I hope I don't have any more truck issues or or anything else. I can't think of anything else to say right now. So that's pretty much it for the short video of like what's going on with me and when am I heading out. Right now, when I'm making this video, it's the 17th. It's 7:44 a.m. on Thursday, and I'm looking to head out Monday night, to hit the road again. So I've got a 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend here to enjoy before I have to take off. So now let's switch gears here a little bit, and I'll talk about something that a couple of people I watch on YouTube have been talking about. Trucking Inside, Everett Madison. He made a video here recently talking about lease purchases and leases, acquisition of vehicle leases, not like leasing on with a carrier lease. And Truck Hustlin' Rookie, the only other USA truck driver that I know of that makes YouTube videos on the regular. He's thinking about quitting USA Truck again. And some people recommended for him to go owner-op and lease on with USA Truck. So he said he'd look into it. So here, I think I've made videos previously about leasing and what companies and stuff, and I recommended USA Truck. And I gave some things to look for whenever you're leasing on. So this isn't necessarily going to be that. It's just going to be my opinion on becoming an owner-operator. Number one, not everybody's cut out to become an owner-operator. You need to know what you're getting into. You're starting up a business. And a lot of people that become owner-operators in this business aren't in a position to start up a business. If you do not have, if you don't have a good business plan, and if you do not have finances to cover unexpected expenses, if you don't have savings, then the likelihood of you failing as a new business is very high. Businesses are not typically profitable for their first year. So, because there's so many expenses and unexpected expenses on startups, it's like buying a house. There's a lot of people that buy houses that don't realize how many things are involved with owning a house, like how many things you have to pay for. And what ends up happening when people, get into that situation and they don't have any money and they don't know what they're getting into, is their air conditioner ends up going out and they can't afford to fix it. Their roof ends up needing to be replaced. They can't afford to replace it. Their fence ends up getting damaged. They can't afford to replace it. And, the home just goes in disrepair, and it causes the value of the home to just drop and drop and drop and drop. And so finally, they get to a point where they can't afford the house anymore. And then they try to sell it and they can't sell it for shit. Hell, they can't even get any normal buyers to even to qualify for the house because it's in such disrepair. They can't even get a normal loan on it. So then they, the only people that are really able to buy the house are investors that can go in there and remodel the house. I mean, don't get yourself into that kind of position in a new business where you don't have the money to pay for all the unexpected expenses. Like, there's been so many things just out of the blue, like, Christina will, hit me up and be like, hey, Daniel, I need you to fill out this tax form for me. You can do it through Express Trucks Tax. And I go and I sign up with Express Truck Tax and, tell them that I need to pay for my fuel tax. And they say, oh, it's going to be $700 for that permit. Just out of the blue. Like, there's $100, $500, $1,000 things that just pop up all over the place, just out of the blue. And, if you're not in a position to pay for all that stuff, then you're going to keep falling behind. And then there's going to be things that really need to get done that you don't have the money for. And, the truck's going to get into disrepair. And then you're going to be spending a lot of time broke down. And that's going to affect your income. And it's going to cause even more outgoing expenses. I mean, and you're eventually just going to fail miserably. So do a lot of research about what you're getting into, and avoid the temptation of getting an expensive truck, because there's a lot of places they'll sell you or finance you or rent you a brand new truck. And it's very tempting to start out with, oh, I'm only going to spend $30,000 on a truck. And then you're like, well, I can, spend a little bit for this, a little bit. Oh, and eventually you ended up buying a $200,000 truck, and you have, $1,500 a week in fixed costs, $2,000 a week in fixed costs. Highest I've heard of was my buddy Russ. He's a CDL instructor again now because he walked away from his lease. He was one of those subleases at Prime, and he was paying $1,700 something a week in fixed costs. That's crazy. So know what you're getting into, do your research and everything. But I think that everyone's goal in this industry, if you are a truck driver, it should be your goal to become an owner-operator, because the most earning potential you have in this industry is as an owner-operator. If you never become an owner-operator as a truck driver, then you are never you're never seeing the potential. You're always just making crap money and having a crap job. I mean, as an owner operator, the life is so much better. Yes, there is a lot of, it's a lot of work. It's not for everybody. I'm not saying that everybody should become an owner operator, but everybody should look into it, and it should be a goal. And if it's, some people can't achieve all of their goals. So if it's not something for you, then it's not something for you. But it's something that everybody should look into, and they should try to, get into. I've heard rumor of a couple of company jobs that pay really well. Like if you get on with UPS and you work there for 100 years, then you'll get high enough on the seniority to get a good route, and you'll get enough pay increases that you can, make $150,000 a year. I've heard those stories. I don't know that I believe them. Now, $100,000 a year jobs as company drivers, those are completely reasonable. They're not easy to get, but they exist. But $100,000 a year as a truck driver is not very good money. It's not. Unfortunately, a lot of people think it is, but it's not. It sucks. But as an owner-operator, $150,000, $200,000 a year is very achievable. Very achievable. Me, by my calculations, if I keep going on the pace that I'm going right now, let me just bust out the Kukalader, and I'll do the math with you right now. How much am I making whenever I'm going out for like a week or two? How much am I making per week? Well, roughly $4,500 gross to the truck. I've made more, I've made less, but a good ballpark estimate is $4,500 to the truck. So $4,500 gross, multiply that times 52, that's $234,000 a year gross to the truck. What am I making after, expenses? Roughly $3,700 a week. So $3,700 times 52, $192,000. So I'm making $234,000 a year, and my expenses are really fucking low. It's basically just fuel cost and $126. That's my expenses. And then, I get a preventative maintenance, which costs me $150 every couple of months, every 3 months. That's not even worth adding in there. I don't even know how many pennies a week that costs. So those are my costs and how much money I make. That's $200,000 a year. If I worked every single fucking week. Do I work every week? No, I don't. I could do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So let's split all that in half. So $3,700 a week times 26 weeks instead of 52 weeks. That's $96,200 a year. That means as an owner-operator, I'm basically on pace to make about $100,000 a year, sitting on my ass for half the year. 6 months on, 6 months off. That's basically the schedule that I've been working, is 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I don't plan on doing that all year. I'm planning on, going and staying out and switching back over to only doing 1 or 2, maybe 3 days at home every couple of weeks. But if I continue doing what I'm doing right now, $100,000 a year as an owner operator. That's how much money I'm making after expenses. So, what about these company drivers that are claiming to make $100,000 a year? They're making $100,000 a year, and I guarantee you they're not taking 6 months a year off. They're lucky if they're taking 2 months a year off. So, that's I'm about as lazy as you can get as an owner operator right now. Like, I'm not a lazy person, but with all the time I've been taking off, it appears that I am lazy. So yeah, but I'm on pace to make approximately $100,000 a year as an owner operator, and I mean that's just, I think everybody's goal should be to become an owner operator, because I can't really put into words how awesome it is. You make so much more money, you have so much more control over everything. Especially if you're working a load board, which, like, I don't like the idea of becoming an owner operator and still being dispatched. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I know that there's a lot of people that are owner operators that cannot stand to pick their own loads. They're not good at it. They don't want to deal with it. It's just overwhelming to them. So they prefer to have somebody, they prefer to work with a dispatcher. There are a lot of people that do that. But me, personally, I really like having the control of picking my own loads, choosing where I go, stuff like that. I'm a meticulous planner, so, like, picking loads for me is I'm really good at it, because I'm just very meticulous about stuff. So I like having the control over where I'm going, what I'm doing, how much money I'm making, and stuff like that. It makes it a lot easier for me to swallow going to bad areas, like going to Pennsylvania. As a company driver, if they gave me a load going to the deep northeast into Pennsylvania, I'd be pissed off. Like, I don't want to go into the fucking deep northeast. I'm a south regional driver, and you pay me a lot less than the northeast drivers. Why in the fuck are you sending me up into the deep northeast? Like, that's my attitude when I was a company driver. Now as an owner operator, I'm like, well, they're paying me $1.86 a mile to go up there. I'll deal with the bullshit, and it doesn't bother me to go up there. Going over to Cleveland, grabbing a load coming out of Dallas doesn't bother me. They're paying me $1.89 a mile to do that. I'll do that. I'm going to be making $3,700 that week. I'll deal with that bullshit. So, I would love for everyone in the trucking industry to become owner operators. That's not going to happen. I think everyone should look into it. I think it really sucks that there's such a negative, like, stigma, a negative reputation around being an owner operator, especially leasing on with a company. There's a lot of dumbasses that like think if you lease on with a carrier, you're not an owner operator. There's just a lot of misinformation and a lot of ignorance in the industry in regard to being owner operators and stuff. So there are, like, being an owner operator that's the highest earning potential you can have in this industry. There are a lot of shitty places that you can lease on with that pay like flat rate dollar a mile to their owner operators. Those are shitty lease places. There are also really shitty lease programs for equipment rental or lease purchase. There's a lot of bad things, and those bad places that have shitty leases, shitty equipment purchase programs or lease programs, rental programs, all of that is to take advantage of people that don't know what's going on. They don't understand the cost of running a business. They don't understand the cost of moving that truck down the road, and they don't have the credit score or the down payment or the finances or the work history or whatever to start the business up and run it the right way. So they take advantage of those people. Stevens, and Prime and CRST and CR England and Swift and all those places, they have all these lease programs that are designed to make the company money, not the driver money. Now, Prime pays their lease drivers pretty well, but your expenses, your operating costs at Prime are insanely high. The difference between a Prime driver and myself is Prime drivers make probably about as much as I do, but my operating costs are way lower than a Prime driver. A Prime driver and myself, both of us could make around $250,000 a year gross to the truck, but if I grossed $250,000 to the truck, I would be making $200,000 to myself. A Prime driver might only be making $130,000 to $150,000 to themselves if they made $250,000 gross to the truck, because their costs are so ridiculously high. And that's why I could sit at home for long periods of time. I guarantee you that you're not going to see a Prime driver take like a month off, take like 3 weeks off like I just took off. And I just fucking started my business. Now, you might see a Prime driver, an owner-operator over there that's been there for like 10 years, take a month off. But somebody who just started as an owner-operator at Prime, taking like 3 weeks off, that's unfucking heard of. Because they're going to have $1,000+ a week fixed costs. So if they took like 3 weeks off, they're $3,000 in the hole, at least. And I've heard of almost $2,000 a week fixed costs, $1,700 plus, $1,700. I forget the exact amount, $35, $1,750 fixed cost was the highest I've ever heard of at Prime. You're falling behind quick at $1,500 a week fixed costs. So that's the reason I recommend USA Truck for a starter company to become an owner-operator at, is because they allow you to buy cheap trucks. So you can buy something really cheap, like $30,000 or $40,000, instead of getting on with somebody like Prime, where they're going to require you to buy basically a brand new truck, and you're going to be $150,000, $200,000 in the hole day one. But with USA Truck, you can get like a $400 a week truck payment. A $1,500 a month truck payment, somewhere in that area, and keep your costs down at a reasonable level to where you don't have to make ridiculous amounts of money every week to be profitable. So anyway, that's my opinion on the whole owner-operator thing. And I hope Truck Hustling Rookie finds something that makes him happy. And that brings up another thing that I'll say, and then I'll end the video. After I make this point is, what is it that you enjoy in life? What do you enjoy doing? If you were given a week off, what do you do in that week? Me, I would be sitting in front of my computer playing video games. For some people, they would be planning a trip. They love going out and doing stuff. They're going to go to the casino every night, or they're going to go out to eat every night. They love doing that kind of stuff. They love going and visiting with friends and family. So they're going to try to get everybody together to go do stuff. Other people are going to want to travel. They love going to Hawaii and sitting on the beach type stuff. If your favorite thing to do whenever you're not working is something that you can do inside the truck, like me, I can play video games inside the truck. I went and bought a really nice gaming laptop. I have my PlayStation in the truck. I have a TV in the truck. I can game better in the truck than I can at home, or as good. If you can, get what you enjoy doing in the truck to where you can enjoy it in the truck, then you won't mind being out on the road. But if your favorite thing to do is spend time with your family, you can't do that on the truck if they're not on the truck with you. And you're always going to want to be home. And you're going to hate being out on the truck. And you're going to be kind of miserable at this job. And you're always going to be looking for a way to spend more time at home with your family. And that's the position Truck Hustling Rookie's in, is that it seems like what he enjoys doing in life is spending time with his family. And he's always talking in his videos about getting a job where he can spend more time with his family. So that's my thing on this job, is that if whatever it is that you like doing in life, enjoy doing in life, if you're not going to be able to do it while you're out on the road in this truck, then you're going to grow to hate this job. You're not going to have fun. You're not going to enjoy it. I can tell you right now that the first time I did this, the first, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when I drove for 3 or 4 years, I had almost no amenities in the truck. I did not have a gaming laptop. I didn't have a TV, a PlayStation. I didn't have anything in my truck. I didn't have a microwave. All I had was a small, tiny cooler that could fit like 1 gallon of milk and maybe a 6-pack of soda. That was a really small cooler. And I lived on cereal and milk and hot dogs when I was out on the truck. So during my free time, I didn't really have anything to do in the truck. I hated being in the truck. I always looked forward to being home so I could play video games. So if you are in that position where, whatever it is that you enjoy doing in life, if you're not able to do it in the truck, you're always going to be trying to find a way to get home. So my recommendation is don't become a truck driver. If whatever your passion in life is, if it's something that you can't do when you're out on the road. But like, you would be an ideal truck driver if whatever it is you enjoy doing in life is something that you could do out on the road. Maybe your favorite thing to do in the world is to listen to podcasts. That's what you do in your free time, is just listen to podcasts. Truck driving is perfect for you. You can listen to podcasts all day, every day. So, yeah, just figure out what it is you love doing in life and try to get it to where you can do it when you're out on the truck. That should be a high priority. If you're a gamer, then getting a gaming computer on the truck, or a TV and a PlayStation or whatever it is you game on, getting that in the truck should be a very high priority. Like for me, being a gamer, getting an inverter in the truck, because my truck did not have an inverter. The sales guy told me it had an inverter, but it didn't actually have an inverter. Getting an inverter in the truck was one of the very first things I did so that I could power my laptop. It's it's like, that's a very high priority for me. But anyway, this will probably be the last video I make until I hit the road, and then I'll start making videos on the regular again. The market's looking good. I'll end the video on my market prediction. I predict that this last quarter is going to be even, like, they're right now at this very moment, they've been talking about all-time highs in freight rates. I think we're going to get better throughout this quarter. And my recommendation to you is to do what I plan on doing. I plan on running my ass off for the remainder of this year, so that I can be in a position that when January and February comes around, if freight rates bottom out, which they're most likely to do, I'm going to have the option of spending a lot of time at home if I want. So we'll see. But I think there's going to be a lot of money to be made in the last quarter of this year. And then I think that it could bottom out come January and February. So my recommendation, do what I'm going to do and get out there and just rake up as much money as you can. Let's do it. Let's go make some of that money. That Skrilla. I don't even know where that comes from. But I hope you're out there making money. I hope you're having a good time, and I hope you don't experience any breakdowns. I wish nothing but the best for everybody, and I hope everybody finds something that they enjoy and love. And life is fleeting, it's short, and you don't get a do-over. So and try to enjoy every moment. Don't do something that you hate for 20 years and then realize 20 years later that you you just wasted 20 years of your life being miserable. So try to be happy all the time. And I hope that everybody is happy and successful. So have a good one. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.